Christmas is just around the corner, which usually means that it's time to buy Christmas gifts for your loved ones. But figuring out what to get them can often be quite challenging, especially if they don't even have a wish list. So let me give you 10 ideas for some tech products you could be giving them for Christmas. Let's go. Since people have a lot of different budgets, I'm gonna list 3 price ranges that goes from cheap all the way up to expensive. And I have defined them like this. And here's the timestamps if you want to skip ahead in the video. DJI released a new drone unlike anything else they've done before just a few months ago. It's called DJI Neo and it can be controlled by most of the new controllers from DJI and your phone. But it's even more impressive than that, because you can actually also control it with either your voice or the built-in gesture controls directly on the drone itself. It has a lot of built-in AI, so you can use it to follow you around, get some quick videos on a trip, or just use it together with your phone to create simple talk videos on a run. It's a super versatile way to both learn how to fly a drone, and it also works great as a little selfie camera that you can have with you everywhere. It also has around 15 minutes of flight time in the air, depending on how strong the wind are. And it can also fly with a speed of up to 21 miles per hour or 35 kilometers per hour. With the latest update, you can also record vertical footage and fly it even easier, since you can put your phone in landscape mode and control it that way now. For a normal price of only $199 for the standalone package, this drone is a massive steal, but even more if you can get it on sale. A little bit over a year ago, Logitech released their Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2, which is still a great mouse to this day. I'd even go as far as to say that the previous version also still is a great option. Because the Superlight 2 has only gotten a new updated sensor with 8000 Hz polling rate, up from 1000 Hz. New switches, a USB-C port instead of micro USB to charge the device, and a little bit longer battery life. So I simply think that you'll still be very happy with the last generation of this mouse. I've been using the first generation since it came out, and I have no intention of buying the second generation at all. So great value to the price in my opinion. Definitely a great pickup for Black Friday. I have a lot of different smart lights. Some are from Philips Hue, some from Twinkly, and some from Trust. Out of all these different smart lights, the most expensive ones actually are also the best ones. But I found that it kinda doesn't matter as much as you might think, because all the different light products can be controlled by a voice assistant like the Google Nest Mini that I have right here. But my recommendation would still be to choose one kind of smart light and stick with that brand for all your future purchases, because it is by no means optimal with different brands, especially if you intend to only use it with the app. Twinkly makes some products that are a bit more unique than the other two, since you can remap the lights to your liking. And it's also more hanging string lights rather than bulbs, light strips and stuff like that. I can't recommend a certain light product since it kinda depends on where and how you want to set it up. But personally, I really like the small Philips Hue Play light, since they work great for showcasing stuff on shelves. And they're probably also some of the most affordable lights you can get from Philips Hue. So if I had to recommend a product, these would be the ones. The most versatile wireless microphones I've tried using have without a doubt been the DJI Mic 2 microphones. Simply because they can be connected to a lot of DJI's products, such as the Osmo Action 5 Pro, DJI Neo, etc. But they're quite big and have a lot of features which most people won't use. Therefore, it's amazing that they've just released their new product DJI Mic Mini, which has a lot of the same features as the Mic 2s, just in a smaller footprint. Plus, they're cheaper, which is always appreciated. These are without a doubt gonna sell out quick, so if you want them, buy them right now. They only weigh 10 grams, have 2 levels of noise reduction, comes with windshields for outside recording, and has a simple interface for the receiver, so you can't mess up the audio. By default, the audio levels even automatically adjusts. You can set up a backup track, which records 6 decibels lower than the main track, and you can also connect 2 microphones. It has a range of up to 400 meters, 1,300 feet. So this is how the DJI mic sounds without the windshield on. I feel like this is a much better solution than actually running around with this big guy and then the microphone's connected. If you buy the charging case, you also have 48 hours of battery life, which is really nice. For a price of $159 for the 2 transmitters, 1 receiver and the charging case, or $89 for the 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. These are some phenomenal microphones for a great price. So also highly recommended as a gift. Phones have become great today, and you can easily use your phone as your main camera for YouTube videos. But if you want a more professional or stylized look, getting something like ND filters and an anamorphic lens can be a great way to level up the production value without spending a ton of money on a new camera. The ND filters are simply to introduce some more natural looking motion blur, and the anamorphic lens gives you flares and a stretched image, which is often seen in big Hollywood movies and TV shows. So it's a simple way to replicate that look. This is absolutely not for everyone, but it can be a great stepping stone for people who have never used a camera before that wants to learn the basics of how to use a camera. It can also just be great for people who wants to make some more serious footage on their phone. The only thing is just that it is quite expensive for just iPhone gear, but you do also get quite a lot in something like the ND filter pouch, so that makes up for it. And well, a single filter to a camera costs the same, so I guess it's fine. This small webcam from HubSpot is something I use daily for meetings with potential clients and my business partner. It's called the HubSpot Tiny 2, and it's a webcam with built-in AI that can track you around. It's super cool to just start a meeting and watch people go like, what's happening there? Simply because the camera tracks you around. You can control it with voice commands like hi tiny, sleep tiny, track me, etc. Or you can just use hand gestures to get it to do different stuff. The image quality is also great straight out of the box. So even though it has an app where you can tweak it further, I actually tend to never use it because the basic features are more than enough in my opinion. For a price of $254, you get a lot out of the camera, and even though they have some more expensive options, this is in my opinion more than enough for most people, myself included, because I would never use many of the features on the more expensive and newer ones. From my perspective, not that much has happened these last 2 years regarding the iPhones. We're talking some new buttons, slimmer bezels, and some new more powerful chips. This is of course a bit simplified because it has also gotten some better cameras with the ability to shoot Apple log and 120 FPS, etc. But apart from that, it's really not big changes that's happened to the iPhone. So if you are an Apple user stuck in the ecosystem, getting the iPhone 14 Pro or 14 Pro Max will still last you a long time. And you really do get much more phone for your money rather than buying a 16, the normal version, to the same amount of money, or maybe a bit more. Again, depending on where you live and if it's on sale. Right now I have a 14 Pro Max and I have no intention of switching anytime soon because everything still works smoothly. If you're from the US, maybe getting the new one would be the right option for you, since Apple Intelligence is rolling out bit by bit to US citizens. But if you're from anywhere else in the world, then I don't feel like it's worth upgrading to the newest, since 98% of features also are available on the 14 Pro models. Okay, I have already mentioned 2 other DJI products, so I wasn't sure if I should mention this product, but I'm gonna mention it anyway, since it's simply also just great. It's the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro action camera. Great little action camera that delivers almost mirrorless camera image quality. This action camera is a big deal, and it's also probably the best on the market right now, simply because it can shoot in 10-bit color. Since it's an action camera, it's also super easy to have with you everywhere, and you don't have to think too much about hitting stuff with it or keeping it clean, because it can easily handle that. You can also connect both the DJI Mic Mini or the DJI Mic 2s directly to it without the receiver, so you can easily get some great sounding audio everywhere. Action 5 Pro It has a 4 hours battery life, which is insane, and if you get the adventure combo pack like me, you can easily just swap the battery with one in the charging case. At $349 for the standard combo or $449 for the adventure combo pack, you get some incredible value here as well. Sometimes when I look through the footage on the PC, I kinda forget that it's from an action camera, so the image quality is really great. This action camera or the Osmo Pocket 3 is the tools I would recommend you to get if you want to start creating videos on the internet today. Yeah, so any tech nerd would be ecstatic if they got this as a gift for Christmas. A few years ago, we bought this iRobot Roomba J7558 Plus vacuum robot, which has been a workhorse ever since. We actually have 2 robot vacuum cleaners from iRobot, but the newer one definitely has some nice improvements from the older one. It can avoid cords if you, for example, have chargers lying on the ground. You can use it with a voice assistant, and it just has much more power for sucking up dust, hairs or dirt. And well, it can actually find home, which is something this one struggles with. But it's probably just a bug, who knows. I can't find out what's wrong with it though. Having a vacuum cleaner with a big container for a bag is, in my opinion, essential for these kind of cleaners. Otherwise you'll have to empty it all the time, which just becomes annoying in the long run. So spend the extra money. I'm speaking from experience, since we used to both have a dog and a robot vacuum cleaner without a container, and the bag had to be switched out constantly. Another nice bonus which non-native English speakers will appreciate is that the voice commands it sends out can be in your native language. Having a cordless vacuum cleaner like this Dyson Gen 5 Detect Vacuum is also amazing. This is actually the second Dyson vacuum we've had. The first one was the V15 and it also worked great, but there were just a few minor inconveniences that started to annoy us, which this newer version simply has fixed. The first being that you had to hold down the button constantly to actually have it running, which is now just a button on top you need to press on or off. The other thing were that you needed to run around with the small tube all the time to just get some of the cobwebs and dust on surfaces. This you no longer need, since it's integrated into the tube, so you can just take off the long tube and then it's inside. It also has a little bit more runtime, from 60 minutes up to 70 minutes, but this has never been an issue even with the previous version. 70 minutes is just outrageous. The Gen 5 Detect does have more power of up to 280 watt from 240 watt on the V15, and it might not seem like a big difference, but it really is a big difference when you have to vacuum inside cabinets and on shelves and stuff like that. So to most people it probably isn't that big a deal, but to us it was a big deal. But yes, the Gen 5 Detect might be a bit of a luxury product, but damn, it's nice. Even though it's quite expensive. Still highly recommended, and even more recommended over the V15 model. I hope this gave some inspiration to what you could get your family members, but please let me or any other people that watch this video know if you have some more interesting tech they could get for Christmas. Because these are just products that I would absolutely love to get for Christmas, even though I know that no one would give me an iRobot or Dyson vacuum, since that's way out of their budget. But I know some people have some much larger budgets, so I thought I should just mention it. Speaking of budget, it would also be nice if you wrote in the comments if the product you recommend is on sale and the duration for which it's on sale, because it would be nice if my community could help each other out a bit. So thanks in advance. This was all I had for you today. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you left a thumbs up on the video, and subscribing is also always highly appreciated. So see you in the next one. I'm out.